Join us for the Bridal Bliss Classic on Sunday, August 27th from 12 noon to 4 p.m. at Embassy Suites on Newtown Pike. More than 75 of Central Kentucky's top wedding professionals will be on hand, including Geno's Formal Affair, Goff Tents and Events, Renee's Bridal, and Arthur Murray Dance Studios. Pre-register at bridalblissclassic.com.
You're listening to The Wedding Whisperer with Sarah Burton of Simply Love Studio in Lexington, Kentucky. On today's episode, I am chatting with Carrie Thomas. She is the district manager for Geno's Formal Affair. Carrie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So I have to ask, you have been with Geno's for more than 2 decades now.
Mm-hmm.
Was Geno's your first job in high school?
It was just out of high school.
Okay,
So
just out of high school.
Yes.
Okay, and you've been in the Geno's family ever since.
I have. Yes.
Tell me why you've stayed with Geno's.
So as soon as I graduated high school, I started in the office at Geno's working with our wholesale division. And Geno kind of pushed me to the showroom to help customers face to face. I was at the time a little backwards and a little more reserved. And then once I decided that I liked helping customers and seeing them face to face, then I kind of blossomed and got a little bit more comfortable with customers and decided that's what I love to do.
Okay, and you mentioned Geno himself. The one question I get a lot is Geno a real person?
He is a real person, yes. So he is still very involved. He opened this business in 1972. So at the time, there were some other competitors that did the same thing that he did. And he just worked really hard starting out of his father's tailor shop, which I think is such a neat story because when people come in here, they reference his dad. People that were born and raised in Lexington, they'll reference his dad, Guido, and a true Italian, very skilled tailor, and taught Geno a lot. And so he just, out of college, he started with a small inventory of tuxedos out of his dad's tailor shop, and it's grown to what he has now.
So tell me what he has now here in the store.
So we have 2 divisions of our company. One division is the wholesale side of our company, which we supply tuxedos all over the nation. What that means is it might be a bridal store in a small town that they don't have access to menswear. So we have wholesale sales reps that go to these stores and show them what we can provide for them, whether it's a catalog or a selection of mannequins that their customers would go into their store and make their selections, and then we ship to their stores. So that's a big, big part of our business. We have a large warehouse here in Lexington on Mercer Road, which houses all of our inventory. So we have coats and pants and shirts, accessories, shoes, and we have a dry cleaning division. We ship and receive out of that location, and all of our office accounting and that sort of thing is handled from that location as well. And then we have 3 retail locations. 2 are in Lexington, Southland Drive and Richmond Road. And then 1 is in Elizabethtown. And the Southland Drive and Elizabethtown locations handle menswear and ladies apparel. And then our Richmond Road location handles men's only. So they do formal wear, suits, and then they're going to be branching out to handle some more casual wear as well.
Oh, okay. That's exciting.
Yes. So that's coming in 2024.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that I have toured the warehouse on Mercer Road, and it honestly, I don't want to say it was overwhelming. It was wild to see the amount of inventory that you have and how it was ran, even from where you do the tailoring there, where they didn't have to, I'm not sure their word, seamstress, where they didn't have to stand up to get it because it was already on a line right directly to them to save them time, save their bodies, and looking at the laundry and everything that went into it, the thought process behind keeping it flowing as much as possible.
Yes, it is quite a production. And I think a lot of people, even that are from Lexington, don't realize what we have here. And Geno has just perfected it in all these years. This is only his second warehouse that he's ever had. So he's been in this one, I think, about 30 years. But yes, he was just talking recently about the railing system, at how he was having to meet certain codes and everything when he was putting that in. And the person that makes those decisions was not going along with him. And he said, for these reasons, they have to be this height, even if that means you have to tilt your head a little bit to walk through. And it is to save his staff their arm work and just, the motions from day to day. So he does take all of that into consideration. And yes, our alterations department, their sewing machines, they're lifted up on, like, for lack of better words, like a stage, a platform. That way that everything is just within an arm's reach, so they don't have to stand up and down and put their body to too much work.
And every time I'm meeting with a couple, one of my biggest selling points for using Geno's is that everything they are renting is already in a warehouse here in Lexington. It is not being shipped from anywhere. And so if something is not absolutely perfect when they try it on, it's literally fixed almost immediately.
Absolutely. It's a huge benefit, just because if a customer does come here, and maybe we didn't have the opportunity to measure him to begin with, maybe he was measured out of town, and let's say he comes and picks it up and everything's a mess. We don't panic. So we have several scheduled deliveries throughout each day that our driver will bring us whatever we need. So that is super helpful. And, we'll make modifications if we need to. If we don't have the size that people need, we stand on our head to make sure that we get what the customer's needing.
And I think Wes Brown actually did a blog on this. Wes is a studio photographer. Actually did a blog on this a couple of years ago. He had a wedding with Geno's, and it was one of those things, random things happened that day. Like, one was with the ring bearer, and I think the delivery driver actually had to make 3 trips to this wedding, which is very unusual. It was all one of those like unusual circumstances, but he had done a blog about how great the Geno's team was that day.
Good. So, yes, things don't always go perfect for whatever reason that may be. It, could be our fault, could be, just the way the ball bounces that day. But yes, we will do everything we can. We have a driver on call the entire day on Saturdays. So when the stores need something, he or she will run to our warehouse, get whatever we need. And sometimes it's more convenient for the customer to meet them at our warehouse, or sometimes we make deliveries, and we're happy to do whichever is most convenient and save some time on that crazy day.
Awesome. So let's start kind of with your most popular items that couples come in for. I would say your tuxedos and your suits that are rentals.
Yes.
Do you see more rentals on suits or tuxes now?
We're seeing a swing toward tuxedos. Weddings are getting fancier again, and that just makes us so happy. Mm-hmm. People wear suits to work, or, just a party or a special event. But, we kind of push that, especially now that it's trending that way. You don't get many opportunities to wear a tuxedo. And a lot of times we'll ask the bride, like, let's see your dress. Can I see what the bridesmaids are wearing? Where is your venue? And if they're debating tuxes versus suits, and she is in this beautiful gown that's sparkling from top to bottom, and the bridesmaids are wearing floor-length gowns, why not and it's in a fancier venue, you need to put your guys in tuxedos. So we'll push them that way. Now, if they've got their mindset, they want suits, then of course we're going to, jump right along with them on that. But we are seeing a trend on tuxedos for sure.
If someone doesn't know the difference in a suit and a tuxedo, will you explain that?
Yes, absolutely. So we have tons of samples on our floor that we can kind of show. We love to do that, because even if it's a groom, he might not have rented a tux or been in here since his prom. And, maybe his mom or his prom date picked that out. And so a lot of times they'll come in and they're like, I don't know the difference between a tuxedo or a suit. So we will show them on our mannequins the differences. We talk about fabrics. We talk about fits. We talk about why there's 40 different mannequins on the floor and what makes them different.
do you have just like black suits, navy suits? How many colors of suits do you have to pick from?
Wow, we have a whole array. So, some people, if they are going the suit route, they may be like, we're looking at gray. Well, we're going to show them several different shades. There's light, there's dark, there's medium, there's tuxes, and there's suits. So a tux is going to have more of a satin lapel. A suit, the lapel is going to be the same as the body of the jacket. We will help them with their selection as far as which way they're going, tuxes or suits. But we have grays, we have navies, cobalt, which is kind of in between navy and royal. We have cornflower that's more toward that light blue, almost has like a linen-y texture to it. We have brown, we have tan, burgundy, hunter green, and of course black. So
all of the options.
All of the options. And we've got a lot of new styles coming for 24 that we're really excited about. They should be here in March or April.
Okay. And then you have tons of name brands. And then Geno's also has his own line of suits as well.
Yes. So Geno he is very innovative, and a lot of the manufacturers, they go to him for his expertise. Back when the trend was moving from tuxes to suits, I remember being just amazed at how the manufacturers are calling on Geno, like, how do we do this? Because all they've done is tuxedos. And, you can't fight it that people want suits. And so Geno designed something that actually is still running. And this has been going on for probably 10 years now. But it's a look that kind of merges tuxedo or suit, whichever the customer is looking for.
And now you also carry women's tuxedos?
We do. So right now we have it in black. It's more of a knit, so it's more of a tighter fit as far as the pants. The jacket is more tailored. So you can either put like a white shirt on it, under it. But what we like to kind of push is maybe if they're wanting to do a little splash of color or some sort of like sequin, is maybe they could just find a little cami that goes underneath of it or something to just change the look of it.
That's smart.
Yeah. We hem the pants based off of, we always discuss what kind of shoes they're planning on wearing. So if they want to wear just something that we have like on the more men's side, as far as like a lace-up shoe that we offer for men's, we can fit them for those if that's what the look they're going for. If they want to wear a stiletto, then we might alter the length of the pants to be more appropriate to whichever shoe they're choosing.
Okay. And then you also carry bridesmaids dresses.
We do. Here in Lexington, we carry, the brand is called Celebrations by Christina Wu. And they offer, there's like 54 colors of satins, chiffons. There's lots of sequin. There's lace. There is satin, velvet. And there's lots of different fabrics. And we try to have a good sampling here in the store of all the fabrics, a good color variation. Those do take 12 to 16 weeks to come in. So what we do is we like to get the girls, we get their bust, waist, and hip measurement. We try one of our samples on that might be the same exact style that they're choosing or a similar style. That way we can help them pick the dress size that they're looking for. I always say, as far as bridesmaids dresses, for some reason, the sizing is never what we buy in ladies' clothing. And so for some reason, they don't size them that way. And so it always makes people feel terrible, the number that they're having to look at when they order their dress. You can't care. You just want it to fit when it comes in, because it is not easy to handle when it comes in and it doesn't fit and we don't have fabric to work with. So if you're in doubt and you're ever on the fence of which way to go, I highly recommend to go up, and that way you can have it taken in.
Okay. And then if someone is interested in coming in to look at any of your products, do you recommend that they have an appointment, or can they just show up?
So if they plan on bringing a whole wedding party with them, whether it's the guys or girls, we love an appointment. That way we can make sure that we're not, because some people just call and make their appointment, and we do that. But if we know that they're coming, we can make sure we're staffed appropriately and make sure we don't have other appointments on top of that time. Now, our store hours are Monday through Friday, 12 until 6, and Saturday, 10 until 5. So sometimes we understand those hours are difficult difficult to make those hours. So we'll do our appointments before noon on the weekdays. So we kind of open up, let your wedding party in, lock the doors back up, and we'll get everybody measured. Or if it's just a matter of the guys picking up for their wedding that weekend, we actually have a really great time doing that. We've had donuts and mimosas and, have a really good time. And that way they get our full attention. But we do know that they're coming ahead of time and it is a planned, scheduled event.
Okay. What sizes do you carry in all of your different lines?
Okay. So the majority of our tuxes and suits are going to be available from a 3 boys, which is like a toddler size, up to 70 in a jacket, and then appropriate sizing for pants for a 70 jacket. Now, in some classic black tuxedos, we will go up to an 80. So it's just some of those trendier styles we may not have up to that size because the manufacturer doesn't make them, and we may have more limited quantities in those sizes. So if we are talking about a wedding party, I highly recommend, if we have any, and when I say difficult sizes, it's not always on the size 70, but sometimes it may be a 34 extra long. Maybe he's built like a straw. He may be very tall, very skinny. And so that is even, a challenge for us at times too, because we don't have quantities of those sizes that aren't in demand as much. So we do have a network of companies that we work with. For example, if we don't have the size in our own inventory that we need, which we rarely approach that issue, we first go to the manufacturer to see if we can buy from them, or we would go to someone within our network and what we call sub-rent, and we would rent from that company. So in over 30 years of working here, we've never turned anyone away.
That's incredible.
Yes.
And then as far as like bridesmaid dresses, what size range do you carry in those?
So those are going to be 0 to 30. And what I love about the bridesmaid dresses is, everybody comes in different heights as well. So it's helpful because we can, if a girl is 5'9" or above, we can get extra length for her. So that's really helpful. So she's not having to wear a dress that's too
never
short.
had that problem.
No, you have not.
Walk me through the process of if a bride and groom come through your front door and they are like, we're here to pick out our suits and tuxes for the wedding. And we know kind of what our colors are. What is the process for that?
So we like to create a really fun experience for these people. I want their story, our little part of their story, to be easy and happy and something that they really didn't have to think too much about, but they're going to show up and feel great. So what we ask is, so are you leaning toward tuxes or suits? What color are your bridesmaids wearing? To the bride, is she wearing white or ivory or blush? Is she wearing something unique? Tell us your story coming in so that we can kind of fit our piece of the puzzle in to be appropriate. She is always so happy to show her dress. She's, we discuss her ring and where they're having it. And just so we can have a vision of, okay, so you're going to be in a field. These tan suits are going to be beautiful. Or you're going to be in a beautiful ballroom. These black tuxedos are what you need. So that is how we make their selections. A lot of times the bride will either have a photo or an actual swatch of what the bridesmaids are wearing. A lot of times it is very much colors that we're familiar with. We do have a company that we buy accessories from. So if for some reason the probably 80 colors we have available, maybe we're not hitting on, let's say, persimmon. That is a really tough color because there's many different shades that go more orange or brown. And that's just one example of a shade that I'm referencing. But so this company that we buy from, they have every shade in that hue that you can ever imagine. So for $25, we can order ties for each guy and have them within 8 weeks. So if we're not hitting on that color here, that's another thing. We don't turn many people away for not being able to match a color. We ask them if they want bow ties or long ties. Would they like cummerbunds or vest or neither? Would they like to go with a belt instead of either? Do you want to rent or purchase shoes? We have a really nice leather shoe that some people are buying as groomsmen gifts. That has been a huge hit. We offer them, and it's a Florsheim. That's the brand of it. So everybody's familiar in the men's world. A nice leather lace-up shoe that's going to go with his khakis later on or his nice suit later on. So that's something nice that people are considering here too.
Okay. One of the cool things that you offer is called a groom's preview.
Yes, that is huge. So just like the bride, when she goes to the bridal salon to try on, 25 dresses to help make her selection, she's put them all on. So for many years, when we didn't have that service, we expected a groom to come in here, look at the mannequin, and kind of envision his head on that mannequin, whether it's his size or not, and with his skin tone and that sort of thing, or how it fits. There's so many different fits now. That's not fair. So to help create that experience, we offer is a free service. So we'll let them pick like 2 or 3 styles, sometimes 4 if we still can't decide on tuxes or suits or what color in the world we want, and a variety of accessories so he can see what he's going to look like, what his groomsmen would look like, and maybe what the dads are going to look like. And so we only offer that for the groom, but we'll put all those looks on him, and then they're taking all the pictures. And the bride does come and she does get to see him in that. So that is part of, he needs to make sure a lot of times that he has her approval. So
and I will say that the grooms that I know that have done that have loved it. They've
Good.
been so excited about it. They felt so comfortable and so confident after it.
Good.
And I don't know if you saw this, or I may have sent it to you. There was a TikTok a couple of weeks ago of a guy posting on his wedding day where he had put on his suit and it didn't fit that great.
Okay.
And so he went into this whole thing about he couldn't believe his suit on his wedding day didn't fit. And he basically got roasted because everybody in the comments were like, oh, you probably didn't try it on in the store. If you had tried it on like your bride told you to, you wouldn't be having this problem.
Yeah.
And it was literally, it completely went the wrong, how he didn't think it was going to go.
Yes.
And everybody was like, it's your fault. It doesn't fit. And I was like, yep, you're right on
That's
every
right.
bit of that.
That's right.
So,
yeah, so we can kind of tweak based off of that preview. So he knows when he leaves that when he comes to pick up the actual suit or tuxedo for his wedding day, it's going to be perfect.
and what do you think the percentage of your grooms are that buy versus rent?
So I would say the majority still rent. We are seeing where, we might do a whole wedding party of purchase suits. That's something that we offer. We have a large inventory. We do ask for an 8-week lead time for that, just in case we don't have a specific size in stock. That gives us time to get it from the manufacturer. Our industry is no different from any other industry where manufacturers are not keeping loads of inventory anymore. So we're kind of at their discretion, hoping that we can get it in time. But we do pull inventory from our other stores also. So we are able to make it happen. But sometimes the groom and his groomsmen will purchase those suits. It comes with the pant length alteration as included in the price.
Okay. What do you think the average rental price is for a suit right now?
So I would say it is probably around $230, and that is including tax and everything. We used to have where, if you got a vest, it was this price. If you got shoes, it was this price. And so now we have package pricing. And I say that they're going to start at like $150. But customers now are very keen on fit and fabrics. And so to achieve that is going to be pretty much the price range that they're going to be in, is that $200 to $230. And that fabric is they've got it perfected for rental now. It used to just be something that we couldn't figure it out to go through the wear and tear. But it has stretch in it, which guys love stretch. The first thing a man does when he puts on a coat is stretches his arms out in front of him and shrugs his shoulders. And I always want to say, when are you going to be doing that? But anyway.
You're 100% right.
but they do. So when they put this stretch tux or suit on, they can stretch their arms and reach out all they want to, and they are not going to feel restricted.
Have you seen pricing in your industry go up since the pandemic?
Yes, absolutely we have. Now, our prices do go up to $250, and it depends on if you're getting a pocket square and that kind of thing. But $150 to $250, we understand that that's, not anything to sneeze at as far as a rental price. But the demand of fit and fabric and what all they need, that has to be the price. And so, we, from the manufacturer level, we get sticker shock as well, just like you and I do at the grocery store and the gas pump.
And so you also partner with Mac and Clay to offer custom suits for the grooms. Tell me a little bit about that process.
So it's really helpful because sometimes a groom will come in here and he's like, I want this for my guys, but I want to kick it up a notch or two for myself. And, the bride, she gets to keep her gown and preserve it and, have it for years, forever. And the groom, he wants something special like that too. And this particular groom wants it to fit to a T. So that would require a custom suit or tuxedo. So Mac and Clay is right next door to our Geno's location on Southland Drive. It is very helpful when we know that when they come in. All of us have some training in it. Not that we're the ones measuring, but we know we can guide them toward fabrics and all of the details of building that suit. And we'll take them next door. Matt Guineri is the owner, and he is also one of our owners here at Geno's Formal Affair. So it's very helpful that he is so knowledgeable of the industry. He has such an eye for fashion. So a lot of times the appointment is, we might introduce the concept to them, but we will make an appointment with the groom and Matt for just a private consultation, and he can see what they're wanting as far as fabrics and what they are wanting to spend. I would say a starting price for a custom suits probably starts around $800, and that is the coat and the pants. And I would allow a leeway of time of 6 to 8 weeks.
Once the groom has picked out everything he is going to be wearing, what is the process for the groomsmen to come in and get measured for that?
So the groom has picked everything out. We like to have all of the measurements in about, we always say 2 to 4 weeks. That is going to vary on what time of year we're in. So April and May is our peak season, as well as September and October. So when they will register their weddings with us, we will address that with them. We ask for a little bit more time, maybe the 4 to 6 weeks if we can. A lot of times when we say 2 to 4 weeks, the bride's eyes get really big, like that's not enough time, just because she's so used to the time that she needs for her girls for those bridesmaid dresses. Well, we own all of that inventory here in Lexington, so we can turn it around a lot faster, and we do own a large inventory.
The biggest question I get is, my groomsman lives out of town, out of state. How does that work?
Yes, so I love that question. Some people think that they need to go to a national chain because they have part of their wedding party is out of town. That is not the case. So if your wedding is in Lexington or around Lexington, we can handle anything. So what we recommend is that they will go to a local menswear or tuxedo shop. Most places will measure complimentary. They can call and see if there's a charge. I don't think they should have to pay for that. So in the industry, we all try to help each other because everybody has somebody from out of town. They will get their measurements, call them in or email them in to us. We will have their order waiting for them when they come in town. We have tons of fitting rooms here in the store. We will have them try them on. And if their pants are capris or their jacket is down to their knees, we will make all the modifications at a snap of a finger. We are trained to sew in our stores. So if it's just pant length or sleeve length, we can fix that while they wait. And then if we need a new item, back to that driver that we have that makes those scheduled deliveries. So nobody's going to head to that wedding. If they've tried it on here in the store, no one's going to head to the wedding with something that doesn't fit.
Okay, so you mentioned trying it on in the store. When do the suits or tuxes or the attire in general, when does it come into your stores for pickup?
Okay, so as early as Monday before the wedding. So we work on a week-to-week basis. So we will start receiving the orders on Monday, and then they will just kind of trickle in as the week goes on. When the bride and groom register their wedding, we will discuss with them what their pickup day will be. And many times they will choose Thursday because that's when most people are in town, are arriving if they're out of town guests. So each person that provides a phone number for us will receive a text message to alert them when their order has arrived at the store. So that's really helpful because if it comes on Tuesday, they get that text from us, come on in and try it on. That way we know right then that everything fits great and you can take it. There's no extra charge to keep it out until Monday after the wedding. That's when it's due back.
What do you think the percentage of guys is that actually tries it on in the store when they pick it up?
A large percentage. We really push them. A lot of times we'll say, as we're carrying it out to them, we say, would you like to try it on? And they're like, what do you think? Because guys hate trying stuff on. Well, let's face it, all of us do. We highly encourage them to try it on. So if they leave it up to us, we say, yes, please try it on.
And I will say at some point over the past several years that I have been learning all about the men's attire from you, I heard you make the comment that you recommended getting an extra white shirt for the grooms. I thought that was the most brilliant thing. And I was like, why have I never thought about that?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about why you suggest that.
So, their photos, their wedding is maybe 6:30 at night and their photos could start at noon. And so he's out in this August heat or whatever it is, even if it's November and it's cool outside, he is sweating. So he gets nervous. And so a lot of times I recommend get that extra shirt. That way, right before ceremony, and he can choose when he's going to need to change it. Maybe it's right after the ceremony. Then he's got a fresh shirt to go on for the rest of the night. But that second shirt is really helpful for especially that nervous groom.
I just think that's brilliant.
Yes.
So when I used to do full service planning or even day of, sometimes on the days, I had no idea what the pieces were that were coming with the suits and tuxes. So it took me a while to learn that.
Yes.
Walk me through what someone might find in their bag when they pick it up that day.
I love that. So when you try on here in the store, we will show you a lot of times there are studs and cufflinks. Those go in the shirt. So there's 4 little studs that go in where a button normally is on the front of the shirt, and then 2 bigger pieces that are cufflinks, and they go on the cuff of your shirt. Some people have never put those in, and we'll get phone calls sometimes. So I've got these things in this bag. What do I do with it? Well, and now that YouTube is a thing, that's really helpful because they can YouTube it and figure it out. But sometimes we get calls, but we do try to walk you through that step here in the store because we can't assume that everybody knows what that is. The same with, some weddings will purchase bow ties that you tie yourself. So we always say, if you're buying your tie with us, we offer free lessons. So we will teach them how to do the tie in the store. And you would see either a cummerbund, which is a piece, kind of the concept of a belt that goes around your waist, or a vest. They are all adjustable. They are, the vests are all sized pieces. So they do come longer for taller people. And then suspenders, that is an adjustable item. So sometimes people don't know how to do that. And, based on how tall or how short you are, those need to be adjusted, and we will help with that too. Pocket squares, we will teach you how to fold those, or we will do it here in the store for you and go ahead and I've been known to safety pin them because sometimes they will sink down in the pocket, and some people's are low and some people's are high for these pictures, and that'll make a bride crazy when she gets her photos back.
And which side does the boutonniere go on?
It goes on the same side as the pocket square. So there's on certain styles of lapels, there is a little buttonhole on what's called the notch collar. There is a buttonhole on a lot of those, and that's where it's kind of a faux buttonhole. And that is where you actually pin the boutonniere.
Perfect. And I know that you just went to Atlanta for market last week. Tell me a little bit about what we can expect for 2024 as far as trends and colors.
Okay. So we were in Atlanta for prom dresses. And so there was a lot of bright, I would say almost 80s styles with some poofy sleeves. And yes, I was very shocked at everything I was seeing there. So we did see a lot of bright colors last prom, but it is flowing back over for this. Now on the wedding side of things, we are seeing lots of shades of greens. We are still seeing those blushes and burgundies and lots of navy, but I'm telling you, on the men's side of things, for these tuxedos, we're doing a ton of classic black tuxedos with a black bow tie, a black cummerbund, and black suspenders. So it's going very formal, very classic. That timeless look has really started to trend.
I'm here for that too.
Me
personally.
too.
Do you have any velvet? I've seen a lot of velvet in the past couple years. Is that something that you carry here at Geno's?
We do have velvet. We have black velvet jackets available for rental. Rental and velvet is tough because, if somebody has it in their possession, so once they've picked it up from us and they feel like maybe it needs a little pressing, you can't do it with a home iron. And so we have to put little notes in each rental that please do not touch this. So it's more delicate than what most rental items are. To answer your question, yes, we have it in black. We are able to order pretty much any color under the sun. So while I was at market, saw some very beautiful, what I would call like navy or cobalt shades of blue, burgundy, hunter, very pretty velvets. So that is something that we can order at Geno's, or Mac and Clay does have the availability to do custom in velvet as well.
And then I have noticed that sometimes a groom will do a velvet for maybe pictures or the ceremony, and then they'll switch into a different color jacket for the reception.
Yes.
Can they get both of those from you?
They can. So we are doing, the bride is changing for her reception look. And so we love, when we hear that, we really push the groom to do something fun out of like more of our fashion stuff. We've got some sparkle jackets, some paisleys that are actually tasteful, but they look more like a party jacket. And we will offer them a significant discount if they get their, tux or suit for the wedding. We'll offer them a really fair price to hopefully encourage them to do that reception look.
So then once the wedding is over on a Saturday or a Sunday, how do they all get back here on Monday?
A lot of times one person is designated, and I always say, you poor thing, how are you the one that has to bring it all back? But we do need them back on Monday from 12 until 6. We would love to get everybody's back that day. If for some reason, maybe it's a destination wedding, they need to make special arrangements that Monday won't work, we can be flexible. They just need to let us know ahead of time. Or we also have sometimes everybody's from out of town, that maybe this is the destination for a wedding and everybody's from out of town. They have to leave them at the hotel. Then our driver will go pick them up at the hotel. That just has to be arranged ahead of time.
And what happens, I know you talked about how the fabric had improved so much, but what happens if the groom's on the dance floor and he might get a hole in the knee from just dancing to doing the worm or something?
Yes, it happens.
What happens? Is there a fee for that, or if something's missing?
Yes. So everyone pays a damage waiver. It's kind of like an insurance, so that anything done unintentionally, then they're not responsible to have to pay for that item to replace it. So I like to throw in there that doesn't include swimming or paintball. Those are some things that people have done. So, but anything unintentional, they're not responsible to pay for it.
I don't know why that shocked me so much. But, yeah. So going into this weekend, we're getting ready to go into Bridal Bliss Classic Bridal Show on Sunday at Embassy Suites. You are a sponsor of that. You've been a sponsor of that from the beginning, which is amazing. It's what helps couples be able to attend for free. It helps their guests be able to come for free. Tell me a little bit about what you're going to have this weekend.
So we like to bring a sampling of our tuxedos and suits and bridesmaids dresses and just show some colors. Sometimes we'll have some fabrics from Mac and Clay and maybe a mannequin or two just to show all of the things that we can offer as a company.
Well, Carrie, I look forward to seeing your team at Bridal Bliss Classic on Sunday. And then if couples are interested in looking at your stores, they can do so on Richmond Road and then on Southland Drive and then Elizabethtown.
Correct.
And then you also have social media and they can look at your photos on Instagram, your tagged photos, and get some ideas of what previous couples have done. But thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
For more information about Simply Love Studio or to schedule your wedding consultation, go to simplylovestudio.com.